Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Mahashem, Yahweh Shai, Mahashem, Rachak Kodash. Double honor to our venerable apostles, known as a great millstone who rule well. And peace and blessings to the Lord's elect, the house of David. It's a brother Haran. Coming back at you with another lesson. This is more of a drive and talk. More want to be edifying and uplifting to the elect. All right, and on my way down to the city, all right, for a battleground, going to camp, and I was watching a couple of videos this morning as I was getting ready, and it's all pretty much highlighting what we've been saying, starting from my elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down, in regards to the conditions that America or Americans are facing. All right, that we're living in a time of evil, as is prophesied in the Bible. Going to the book of Ezekiel, the 7th chapter goes into a time that says, an evil and only evil has come. All right, behold, and watch it for thee, it has come. Okay, and that time is indeed here. All right, remember Yahushua talks about the time of the beginning of sorrows, and we always said that with the beginning comes ultimately the middle and an end. Right, and we're at the time where we're starting to see, okay, the so-called tectonic plates shifting. Right, everything is being shifted, everything is being moved, all the plates are being put in place. All right, to pop things off. And as I was watching the videos, I was thinking, I said, man, I feel bad because, like, I feel bad and I don't feel bad at the same time. Right, it's like as I'm witnessing the Titanic going down, and with all kinds of different people on it. And you're like, damn, I wish I could help you, but by me helping you, what am I gonna get from that? Right? What's gonna happen? It's not gonna really make a difference. It might make a difference for one day. But the reason why you're in this situation is because you don't have an actual foundation. When the years were, as it tells you in the book of Ecclesiastes, let's see if we can get that real quick. All right, the apostles, I remember I could literally hear Apostle Ryan Lob, his voice in my head right now, when he was always doing videos talking about get it while you still can, get it while you still can. Right? There's gonna come a time where you're gonna have a need for it, but you're not gonna be able to get it. And that time is now. Okay, but back then when you still had time to prepare, a lot of people were not prepared, so you don't have an actual foundation. You don't have like the apostles always use the example, you can't go into your so-called spiritual bank account. A lot of people don't even know there's something that exists like that. All right, a spiritual bank account, a lot of people don't even know about that. Okay, but Dwadi Abba Shemiel Shai for giving us a leadership, all right, and men that actually live the life of Yahushua, so we can emulate that. Okay, being prepared, all right, understanding the times that we're in. Okay, understanding what you got to do, what kind of sacrifices you got to make in order for the Lord to take care of you in these times. Okay, you got to cast everything onto the Lord, and He's gonna take care of you. But those are the people in the world who didn't do that and don't have the mindset to do that. They're the ones who about to get caught out there, man. All right, you got people living out of their cars, right? You got people living in hotels now, okay? You got people living in storage areas. Yeah, that's a new one. They're living in storage rooms, storage facilities. You can't survive in a storage facility, bro. There's like no ventilation coming in. That's not safe. You know, but it's either that or you homeless in the streets. And pretty much at this point, they're making homelessness illegal. All right, and to make matters even worse is the feeling of not being safe. Right, even if you're homeless and you out there, you're not safe because there are certain parts in the country, certain states that you go into where the homeless population is dwindling. You got homeless people being interviewed by everyday YouTubers, and they're saying, yo, I had a friend I was with last night. This morning I woke up, he's not here, he's gone, he's missing, I can't find him. We had another friend who went missing 3 days ago, we can't find him. We've been looking around, we can't find him. And the guy was saying that, you know, being homeless right now is not the best time, obviously, right? But it makes things worse because you have people that kind of like take care of each other. They're all homeless, but the best thing is for them to work together, work with each other to make ends meet. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you take turns sleeping. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's watching the tents. Somebody's watching to make sure some crazy motherfucker is not coming in there with a knife to try to slash you up, right? Somebody's not going to come take the little that you may have. You see? These are all things that people who are homeless have to worry about on a daily basis. And the average American is not used to that. So it's going to be a traumatizing situation. Now imagine having children with you, you know, in a colder weather, with nowhere to go, nowhere to stay, nowhere to be. What's going to happen? All you single women out there that the government been taking care of you, protecting you, feeding you, giving you all these benefits, making you feel secure. All right, once they pull that rug from underneath your feet, where are you gonna go? All right, this is their harsh reality. A lot of you women are gonna be selling yourselves out for survival. A lot of men are gonna become violent and desperate because we're in desperate times. All right, you're gonna be hearing the same thing of, yo, I gotta feed myself and my family, bro. Yo, I'm doing this so I can feed my family, bro. You're gonna be hearing a lot of that. Okay? You're gonna be hearing a lot of that, man. All right? There's a book of Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 1. It says, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth. Okay? While the evil days come not. All right? Nor the years draw nigh when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. And that's what people are saying now. Oh, I don't want to go outside. What am I going to get from being outside? I'm just going to be spending money. You know, or some crazy ass niggas going to look at me funny and try to kill me. Or try to take whatever I got. You know? There's a lot of, that's the sentiments right now. That's the spirit that a lot of people are in right now. All right, it's a spirit of uncertainty. It's a spirit of you know, not being sure of what's to come next. You know, it's a spirit of, if I'm not careful, somebody could take my life. You know, if I'm just taking a stroll outside, somebody could just jump me. A group of YNs could just jump me and take my life. So that's in the back of people's minds, especially what they've seen on social media, what they've seen on the news, right? It's all about violence. It's all about, you know, somebody gets stabbed, shot, beat up, stomped out, raped, right? Kidnapped, you know, stabbed in the neck, shot in the neck, all kinds of dumb shit going on, man. But those of us who have our faith in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, all right, we understand what we're involved in. We understand that these kind of things don't happen by chance because the Lord sends judgment every day. He sends out judgment every day. And it's always going towards those that he got beef with. Those who are not looking to serve the Lord, man. And I believe truly, frankly, we're at the time where if you're still in the world, you really don't have a chance, bro. It's over with. It's over with, man. All right? If you're of the elect and you're still in the world, you know you've heard the truth by now. I mean, I'd like to think that. You know what I'm saying? Because we're such in the last hour of this thing, man. You see everything building up. It's like, yo, this is last hour type of preparations that's going on right now. You know, when you're in the last hour of a preparation, everything moves faster. You know, everything is happening quick because you're in the last hour. You know, the last hour before the party, before everybody shows up, the host is always like, he or she is the one who's working the hardest because they want to make sure everything is put in place. So now you got the heavenly host and you got the host here on the earth. Everyone is being set to make sure that they're in preparation. Oh, that's the spirit 144. All right. So that we're in the stage of that ultimate final preparation, man. Okay, we're in the stage of ultimate final preparation, and that goes for everyone. Esau, he's doing his last day's preparation because he knows ultimately we're in the time of war. Okay, you got one spirit coming to take over the world of a wicked ass spirit. These niggas is going to step up to fight. Okay, but before they do that, they got to set up a stage. That's why you're seeing what you're seeing now. The whole division that's going on in this country, all right, which will lead to civil war, right? An uncivil civil war, okay? Mass civil unrest, like they call it civil unrest. They don't want to call it protest no more. They call it civil unrest, right? You're going to see a whole lot more of that, all right? The whole CK situation, the September 10th situation that became the modern day September 11, 9/11 situation, there's going to be a whole lot more to come. Okay? Why? Because we know what the agenda is. We know All right, what Esau Edom always does. We know the plans of these elites. So these events are not accidental or coincidental. They're all planned and orchestrated, and they're happening in lockstep. One thing after the other, problem, reaction, solution. Right now, what we're seeing is a prime example of pressure from above and pressure from below. Everywhere you go, you got some type of pressure. Going back to the point of homelessness. Going back to the point of people not being able to get places to live. Going back to the point of people having a hard time getting jobs. A lot of people getting laid off. You're going to see a whole lot more of that. Okay? There's no jobs out there. The trucking industry is suffering. The medical industry is suffering. They say that they cutting a lot of jobs with nurses. Nurses are getting their jobs slashed. People losing hours from their jobs. I'm talking about factory workers. All right? They losing jobs. They losing hours. They getting their hours cut. Somebody's going from 48 hours. Some people need 80 hours a week to survive. That's like barely surviving. 80 hours a week of work. Of stressful shit. Waking up at a certain time. Busting your ass. Working 2 jobs. All right? Come back home mad late. Probably have to go to a 3rd job. People doing all this just to make ends meet. And they feel stuck. I'm doing this every day in this rat race and it's not getting better. That's America for you, man. All right? They said in order for you to live, I read an article, it says, in order for any American to live that so-called American dream, you got to be making at least $5 million a year. $5 million a year to live the so-called American dream. What? $5 million a year to live the so-called American dream, man. So if you're not making $5 million a year, you live in an American nightmare. Straight up, that's what it is. It's a nightmare. You're competing against billion-dollar corporations, man. All right? You got a $300,000 home. Guess what? That what they call home equity or whatever they call it, the loans, the interest, the interest rates, all these different things, it doesn't benefit you. Remember, Agenda 2030 says you will own nothing and you'll be happy. All these things you're seeing now, from now till 2030, if we're still here, Lord willing we're not, but if we're still here, I don't see how we're going to still be here in 2030, because the shit these devils is doing, man, yo. You see what's going on in Nepal? All right, they burned down the whole parliament building. You know what I'm saying? That's all going to prophecy. The uproars of the people. All right, 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter. The uproars of the people. So all these things are happening all at the same time. All right, massive civil unrest. All right, they shall not regard their kings nor princes. We've seen that right now. All right, people taking matters into their own hands because they see the direction in which the world is going, and they see that these governments are all working together against the people. They see it, man. People see this shit. All right, and that's why these devils, Esau and them, they're trying to control the narrative. That's why very soon you're going to see a lot of censorship on a whole nother level. All right, because censorship is designed to modify people's behavior. That's what censorship is about. All right, if we control what you can say, we control what you can think. If we control what you can think, we control what you can do. All right. So that's the mindset that these devils are trying to push upon the people right now. So there's a whole lot going on, a whole lot. All right. So let's get this in 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. It says, "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made." Okay, so what are some of the signs? He said here, verse 3, "Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world," okay, so mass civil unrest, protests, these are all part of the uproars of the people. All right, when you go to that word uproar, right, the whole concept of democracy comes up. But let's go into the word uproar. All right, it says what? Outbreak of great disorder, civil unrest, civil war. These are all parts of uproars, man. Okay, mass civil disorder, and that's what brings in the order. That's what brings in that order out of chaos. All right, it says revolt, violent commotion. All right, that's something that was happening a lot back during the Roman Empire, man. It was nothing for the Roman soldiers to have to come in and quell some type of civil unrest. Martial law was being declared back even during the time of the Roman Empire. All right, they had martial law being declared. Okay, and you hear somebody comes out, you know, one of the elder statesmen, he comes out, he stands on a soapbox at the Agora, right, and then he tells everybody, he's like, the Roman Empire has declared martial law. Martial law is fully in effect. Anyone who's seen after 6 p.m. will be arrested and, you know, subject to whatever litigation they're gonna put out there, right? Because it's a warlike law. Martial law is warlike law. Okay, so that's what's finna happen here in America. Okay, it says literally a tumult, a riot, right? It says a stirring up. Okay, so an uproar is a stirring up of the minds of the people to revolt against their oppressors, against their governments. Okay, so that's what's going on, man. All right, that is what's going on, and Americans are about to start uprising very soon because of how dire, all right, their straits are gonna be, how troublesome the times are gonna be. All right, the realization of nowhere to go, no way out, basically. All right, and the more the days go by, the more you see the noose tightening around their necks every day, man. All right, by way of who? Their governments. All right, their federal governments. The same people that's bringing the hell, that's confused you to think that they're the ones that's going to bring you that order. But they're the ones behind the chaos, but they're the same ones that's going to bring that order. Who does that benefit? Right? Cui bono? Who stands to benefit? Right? Who stands to benefit, man? Okay? But yeah, just something on my mind I just want to share real quick, that it's going to get harder and harder, man. You know, and those of us who are in this truth and the faith, all right, we got to keep our faith on the Lord even more in these days, man. Right? You know, you're going to have scary times. You're going to have uncertain times, but it's all the Lord trying your faith. All right, that's all the Lord wants to see, is that you being faithful to Him. Ultimately, when this shit goes down, those who are faithful, the most faithful to the Lord, they're the ones who are going to be taken care of the most. All right? If you're faithful to the Lord, you don't doubt, you're not wavering, no matter what happens, you're not shaking, the Lord's going to protect you. He's going to take care of you, man. All right? If you got a woman in your house, you know what I'm saying, and she you know, because women make it a little harder, your journey's a lot more harder if you got a woman around you. All right, especially a woman who's not in the faith, you know, or sometimes even the women who are in the faith, they do certain things and say certain things that makes you wonder, like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? But it goes to the men. All right, for the most part, it's the men. You are the leader of the house. You are the captain of the ship. All right. So whatever direction in which you steer your ship is where you're gonna go. All right. So that's where you gotta lock in. All right, and make sure that the Lord is your anchor. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is your anchor of your household. If not, you're done. It's over with. All right. Being able to have faith, enough faith to exhibit, to show your people that are around you, like, yo, yeah, things might seem like we've lost everything, but guess what? We got everything. Don't worry about it. All right. Just listen and just stay grounded, bro. All right, stay grounded. The Lord is gonna do His thing. Just have faith and believe and watch. Okay. You might not believe, but let my God that I believe in, let Him come through. Just step back. All right. Let our God, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, let Him step in and do what He got to do. Okay. Yeah, you got troops storming the cities. Let them storm the cities. We got the Lord. We got the Lord on our side. He's gonna take care of us. All right. They say that there's no food if you don't come take this digital mark. You can't eat. You can't do nothing. Let them do it. Let those people join in the lines. Go do it. You don't gotta bother to tell them, yo, that's the mark. Don't go take it now. That time is over, bro. They're not gonna listen. They weren't listening when times was good. How are they gonna listen now when times are crazy? They're not gonna listen. Don't waste your time with these people, man. When we was warning them, telling them, yo, the time is coming, they was not listening, bro. What makes you think now that they're facing the shit that we was telling them about, they finally gonna listen? No, they're not. No, they're not, bro. If they didn't listen when they had it, what makes you think they're gonna listen when they don't have anything? They're not gonna listen. All right? That's why the Lord says, pray not for these people. He's not going to hear what they got to say anyway, man. All right, the doors of mercy are closed. During the time of Noah, when the doors of mercy, when the doors of the ark were shut, all right, there was no pleading your case. All right, once the door was shut, that's like the judge bringing down the hammer. Okay, he slammed the hammer down. Boom, done. Decision is done. The verdict has been passed. It's over with. Let the judgment reign. At that point, after that. Okay. So yeah, man, we in some dire times. Okay, we in some dire times, man. All right. So get ready. Get ready. If you're not ready, you might not have that much time left. All right. When I say be ready, I'm talking about like have your faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay. Have your faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man. That's the only way out. All right. That's the only way out, man. All right. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 3, and verse 10. It says, this is Yahweh Shai speaking. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Okay? It's all a trial of our faith. And if you have faith in the Lord, he's going to come through for you. All right? That's for the elect. That's why it's so important. We always preach about the elect, the elect, the elect. Now you're starting to see it. All right? Let's get this real quick. This last one, and we're going to close it out. All right, it's the book of Daniel, chapter 12, and verse 1. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, right? Thy people, meaning the Israelites. But in this case, it's talking about the elect. All right, the elect are the only ones that the Lord is going to send angels to come and stand up for. Standing up, meaning what? Stand up a standard. Okay, that's not standing up. That's that standard that we've been looking for. All right, that we're going to get in them times of trouble. Okay. So it says what? It says, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be what? That shall be found written in the book. Okay? So the angels know who's written in the book. They know because they have the blueprint. The Lord gave them the blueprint. Oh, this person is on the list. This person is not on the list. That's why Yahweh Shai told the disciples at the end, just leave it. The angels are the ones who are going to be doing the sifting because they know who's on the roster and who's not, who's on the team and who's not. The angels are going to be making the cuts, so to speak. This is all the trials. All right, there's a tryouts. And the angels are the ones who's going to be making the cuts. If you don't make the cut, you're going to be cut out the team, man. All right? As Yahweh Shai said, they're going to be cast out into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. When you're weeping and you're gnashing on your teeth, that means you're in a time of trouble and you're hopeless and helpless. That's what that means. There's no way out except for crying. Like Van Jones. You're going to be like Van Jones on TV talking about, there's nothing you can do but cry. Bitch ass nigga. All right, people like him that are so caught into this, this world. All right, you got a rude awakening coming your way. All right, and all you're gonna do as a man is just sit down. All right, because you can't fend for your family no more. You're just gonna sit down and cry. All right, so that's what's coming. Man, it's like the gas is running. You know what I'm saying? But that's what's coming, man. That is the reality of the situation. And if you're not of the elect, you know what's coming. All right. So anyway, I'm ending off there. Lord willing, you're edified and informed. In closing, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachak Kodash, Tawadi Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Until next time, Shalom.